Test 1, 2, 3. Test, test. And good evening and welcome to Tyler, Texas. We're at Mike Carter Field, second weekend of the 2017 season for this Tyler Junior College Apache Baseball Club. It's Dr. John Groth. I'll be on the play-by-play for you tonight. And the Apaches and the Westerners from Western Texas College invade Tyler this weekend. 3-game series. Tonight's a single 9-inning game. First pitch is about 15 minutes away. Umpires are at home plate waiting for Coach Wren and the head coach for the Westerners, Kenny Jackson. And just to recap last weekend, the Apaches played Centenary JV in their first ball game of the season, and they dropped that game 14-4. And the second game last weekend was a close one against Division I power San Jacinto, and the Apaches lost that one 5-3. So they come in 0-2. The Westerners come in here playing their first ball games of the season. I had a chance to talk to Coach Jackson a little bit ago about the trip down and what he feels about his club. Kenny Jackson played at Texas A&M and played a little pro ball. Actually played junior college baseball, I think, at Alvin, and then transferred out to A&M, played his last 2 years at Texas A&M as their shortstop, and then on into pro ball for a year or two, and then he's been in coaching since that time. So let's hear what Coach Jackson had to say just a few minutes ago down in front of their dugout. Okay, we got Kenny Jackson here outside the Western dugout. Just hit BP. Long trip over here. How long did it take you to get over here?
It was about 5.5 on paper. It took us about 6. Right. We did make the drive last night.
Okay, nice.
Just made it more convenient, get rid of that bus lag. So I think it was good for the guys to get here, get settled in, instead of rushing on game day. And
nice little roadie, 3-game set. Get to come out and enjoy beautiful ballpark. Talk about your club this year. What do you expect?
It's a young club. That's a fact. But at the same time, I think it's a talented club. We got a good group of guys, good character guys. I think we got the right leadership in order. So they are young, and I think their experience or their lack of experience will show. But I think that's only going to benefit down the line as long as we put that pressure on them early on in the season.
So this is technically your first game as head coach, is that right?
Correct.
So how do you feel?
I'm feeling good. I feel like we're prepared. I feel like we're not forgetting anything. Now let's just go out and play.
That's half the battle, right?
Yeah,
you don't realize how much administration goes into this.
Absolutely.
So
yes,
you're
sir.
the one that's responsible
exactly.
for it.
So it feels good to get to the yard and actually kind of get down to business and play some ball. So.
Well, you played at A&M. I coached down there for Mark Johnson. And I do remember thinking to myself, what does he do with all his time as an assistant of his? And when I became head coach here, I figured that out really quick. So talk about your experience as an Aggie and how that has played into your getting into coaching.
Oh, it's played a huge role. Obviously played 2 years of junior college ball. It was a good stepping stone for me. And then got a chance to play Division I baseball at Texas A&M. Learned a lot about myself as a person, as a ball player. And, of course, there's things as a coach I still imply and input things that I learned as a player. So those are days I cherish. And like I said,
Guess you were under Coach Childress?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir, Coach Childress. So I've learned a lot from those guys and coaches in the past, and just still trying to learn something new every day.
Well, congrats on getting the job. As an Apache Nation guy, I'm kind of hoping win number one doesn't come here, but it might. And if it does, congrats on that. It's exciting to get that first W.
Yes,
so
sir. Yes,
I got
sir.
my first W on this field.
Oh, really?
Long time ago.
Well,
so
there you go.
back in 1993, I guess it was. So, anyways, I'm excited for you to start this career. And, man, we'll talk again tomorrow. But, all right, before we close it off, I want to ask you, who's going to start this game on the mound?
Dylan Delgadillo, freshman from Corpus Christi. That's our guy. So we'll put him out there, throwing him in the fire. And
pitch count, what do you think on the are you going to go deep with him? Or what do you think on
the
that?
pitchers are limited pitch count being early in the season. So they are on a pitch count. But at the same time, we'll play the situation, not going to overdo it. Going to do what's best for him, of course.
Well, and it's going to be a chilly one. The weatherman's telling us upper 30s by the end of I don't know about the end of the game, but we're starting here at 54 or so, and it's probably going to be well into the 40s by the time this game ends. So I know none of you guys want to put guys in jeopardy early in the year. What do you hope to get out of the weekend?
Play quality baseball. Learn something about ourselves, whether we struggle or succeed. Learn from those struggles.
Right.
Still evaluating guys, see who we got. Play quality baseball.
Right. Well, it's great to see Aggies doing great things in baseball. Congrats on the job. We'll look forward to watching this 3-game series. Thanks for taking a few minutes with me.
Appreciate it. Thank you. What was your first?
That was Kenny Jackson, the first-year head coach of the Western Texas College Westerners, former Aggies shortstop, and he's excited. This is his first official game as head coach anywhere, and so excited for him. I remember those days well. It's a while ago, but kind of excited for him as he starts his head coaching career tonight here at Mike Carter. And so I also had a chance to catch up with the skipper for the Tyler Junior College Apaches, 8th-year head coach Doug Wren. And the Apaches 0-2 on the young season. Let's hear what Coach Wren had to say a few minutes ago down in their locker room. Okay, we got Coach Wren here in the locker room. And Coach, talk about last weekend and what you saw and what you liked and maybe what you didn't like.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we didn't, start out to go 0-2, but, I thought we learned a lot from last weekend. I thought the guys, I thought it was a good response from game 1 to game 2. There was about a 3-hour period in between where I thought we made some good adjustments, and so, baseball's a crazy game, and so we went back to work this week, and hopefully we'll put a better product on the field this week.
So health-wise, nobody got injured, I don't think. Are we healthy on the mound? Are we getting healthier?
Yeah, little by little. I mean, we still have a few guys that are on the shelf. You might see Avery Hebert a little bit this weekend.
Good.
Had a start in an inter squad on Wednesday. Looked pretty good, and so you're either going to see him in relief early on in the series or possibly start late in the series. So we're just going to kind of play that by ear.
Any changes in the lineup positionally?
Yeah, we've got a few guys that we've kind of moved around. Okay. We're just trying to find a good mix of guys, both offensively and defensively, and so
pretty normal for this time of year.
Yeah, pretty normal. So you're going to see some guys in and out this weekend.
Good.
And just us trying to see, see some things that we need to see. So this will be a little bit different this first game, and then we'll kind of adjust as the series goes on.
Okay, let's talk pitching real quick. Who's going to start this first game tonight?
First game is Daniel Bogue, and which is a sophomore here from Tyler, Texas, and so pitched really well against Sanjak in the nightcap. Had a really good bullpen, and honestly, we kind of talked, and he's used to playing on Friday nights at Mike Carter Field. So we felt like this would be at home for him and a chance for him to really feel comfortable. And so hopefully it'll give us a good start and allow us to maybe get out and get a lead this weekend. So
so looking at the weekend just in whole, what do you hope to see this weekend?
Well, just some consistency on the mound, and obviously just filling up the zone, and then defensively, making some key plays and some. So we want to sure a couple things up there, but and then continue to put good at bats together, and so we're just all 3 phases of the game, just really trying to see a little bit more consistency, putting some complete games together, so that hopefully it'll hopefully result in a W.
Well, I know these guys, this will be their first games out, so They're always jacked up when they come in a nice stadium. I know that's going to be a factor always, but hopefully you guys got those first games under your belt, a little more relaxed. Hopefully we'll see some good baseball.
Yeah, this is their first series. Hopefully we got some of those jitters out of the way. We got a young, new ball club, a lot of new faces, and so hopefully we got a little bit of that out of the way. Had a good week of practice. And, I told these guys they're going to get a 10 on the energy scale from those guys over in that dugout.
Right, exactly.
So it'd be important for us to match that and to bring some energy ourselves. So we'll see.
Okay, now here's what everyone really wants to know is how's Baker doing?
He's good. He's good. He's growing already. 2 weeks old tomorrow. So we're making it. We're surviving.
All right. Well, congrats on that, and we'll look forward to calling these games. Thanks, Doug.
Perfect. Thanks.
That was Coach Wren a few minutes ago in their dugout, or actually in the locker room. They were getting ready to come out here to play a 3-game set. Tonight's game, 6:30. We're just a few minutes from first pitch. Coach Wren and Coach Jackson at home plate with the umpires for tonight's ball game. Temperature has dropped since I did those pregame interviews. We are now at 51 degrees, according to the Weather Channel, and probably going to drop well into the 40s. Not sure we'll get into the 30s, although overnight's supposed to get into the upper 30s tonight. So a clear night, a cool night. The wind, we got a northeasterly wind at 7, which is going to be straight out to right field. Kind of a unique thing for this time of year, other than when it's cold. We do have the northern wind when it's cold here, but anyways, the last week the wind was gusting straight out, and we saw a bunch of home runs. Tonight, we'll have a light breeze going out to right field. We'll get the lineups to you here in just a second, but let's take a moment to honor America with our anthem. Hopefully Coach Jackson recognized that Aggie band on that anthem. Great job there. And we are getting close to playing baseball. Let's go through the lineups for you. For the visitors, the Western Texas College Westerners, they have not played a game in 2017, so this is their opener. Here's what it looks like. In left field, it'll be Philip Sanchez. Batting second, the third baseman, Luis Diaz. Batting third, the catcher, Garrett Scott. Batting in the cleanup spot, the center fielder, Donovan Lopez. The 5 spot, first baseman, Ramiro Sanchez. In the 6 spot, shortstop, Jorge Napoles. The designated hitter is Dalton Castillo. In the 8 spot, it's the second baseman, Josh Baltierra. And in the 9 spot, right fielder, Tyler Dick. On the mound for the Westerners, Dylan Delgadillo, the freshman from Corpus Christi. He'll get the ball for Coach Jackson. For the Apaches, here's what their starting 9 looks like. At second, it's Matt McCusick. In right, Tyler Broadway. Third baseman, Colton Whitehouse. DH, Jordan Trahan. The catcher is Blake Maddox. In left, it's Jarrell McDade. First baseman, Eric Bullock. Shortstop, Luke Boyd. In center field, it's Chase Evans. And on the mound, the left-handed sophomore from Tyler, Texas, 6'2" and 200, Daniel Bogue. Bogue is going to get the start tonight. For the Apaches, Daniel on the year, 3 innings pitched, has not given up an earned run, couple of strikeouts, 1 walk to his credit. Pitched a good ball game last week, 3 complete innings against perennial Division I power, San Jacinto. Again, the Apaches dropped both of those games last weekend. Coach Wren, as you heard on the pregame interview, was a little more pleased with how they played in Game 2 of the doubleheader last week. The other thing that was a factor, a little bit anyways, is that split doubleheader. It's always hard to play the early and late game. You got that long delay between games. He was pleased with the way his club came back and actually played well against a really good team. I would argue that this Apache club, even if they win their 4th national title in a row, will not play a team as good as what they saw last week in Sanjak. So nowhere to go but up from there in terms of the experience level for this club. We're just about ready to start. Daniel Bogue, and we're right on time here. First pitch in there for a strike right at 6:30. Perfect. How many times does that happen? Not many. A lot of times the umpires like to go early, and occasionally we're over a little bit, but tonight we're right on time. Second pitch misses, and it's 1-1. Game time temperature, 51 degrees. Again, a light breeze from the northeast at 7, which at this ballpark is going to drift out towards right field. Outside corner, 1-2. If we're going to get that pitch, this could be a quick game. Keep that zone big. I'm always a big fan of the big strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him on an off-speed pitch. And there's Bogue's first strikeout of the night. Sanchez is a strikeout victim. And that'll bring up Luis Diaz. Diaz playing third base. Diaz a sophomore. Sanchez, the leadoff hitter, a freshman, starting in left. First pitch high on a fastball, ball 1. Diaz from Delray, Florida. Swing and a miss. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Apache's wearing the all whites tonight. I think these might be my favorites. All white, got the white hats going, black and gold trim all the way around. And good command on the outside corner so far early for Daniel Bogue. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on. Just getting started here at Mike Carter. And outside corner, it's back-to-back strikeouts to start the ball game for Mr. Daniel Bogue. He's just doubled his strikeout total from last week. He had 2 in the whole outing. So he's got the first 2 guys via the strikeout. Stepping in as the catcher, Garrett Scott. Again, these Westerners getting their first live at-bats in a game of the 2017 season. First pitch, in there for a strike. He's filling it up, just like you like it. Daniel Bogue in a comfort zone right now. As you heard Coach Wren talk about, he's used to pitching at Mike Carter on Friday nights, so far so good. That pitch just missed, and it's 1 ball and a strike. 2 outs and nobody aboard. The catcher, Garrett Scott, at the plate. Check swing, yes he did, and it's 1-2. Scott, the 6'1", 200-pound catcher, went to Klein Oak High School. That's in the Houston area. He's a sophomore. Swing and a miss. He got him to chase a high fastball, and Bogue strikes out the side. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across. He's on pace for 27 punch-outs tonight. How do you like that one? Going to the bottom of the first. We're still scoreless here at Mike Carter Field. Stay with us. All right, welcome back to Mike Carter Field. Appreciate you joining the broadcast tonight. If you want to shoot a quick text message to us, you can do that. There's instructions on that. If you on the YouTube channel, if you pull out and minimize a little bit, there's a note there. Just text 81010 and the message at TJCBB. You can shoot a message to me that way, or you can, within the YouTube, you can message me there, and I'll pull it up on my screen here on the iPad that we're broadcasting with. So we'd love to hear where you're watching from, who you're rooting for, and making sure our pictures and sound are coming through loud and clear. So give you a shout-out on the air if you want one, and would love to hear from, we had somebody from Shanghai, China last week watching. Miss Busing was watching from China last week. We had also someone out in the Gulf of Mexico. So would love to hear where you're watching from tonight and who you're rooting for. Hopefully we got some Western Texas Westerner fans. Love to hear from you guys. Leading off for the Apaches, second baseman Matt McCusick. McCusick, a .250 hitter. He was 1 for 4 last week. First pitch in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Apaches ranked number 1 in the preseason poll. Last year, 42-16. This Westerner club last year, 16-37 on the season. Playing the Region 5 part of Texas. There's a looping liner into left, and the Apaches are in business with a leadoff single off the bat of Matt McCusick. So McCusick does a nice job of going the other way with that pitch. And here's Tyler Broadway. And Broadway last week had he had 3 hits and 7 at-bats, couple of runs scored for Broadway. Coming into tonight, he's hitting .429. So Broadway steps in after a leadoff single from McCusick, and no hitter's gone. That's pop up to right center, and we'll see who's going to call it, and that's going to fall in. No communication. I don't know if either outfielder thought the other was going to get there. The center fielder got on his horse. Right fielder seemed to be kind of cruising. Either way, it's got to be a double. And the Apaches with back-to-back hits here in the early going have things going with second and third, nobody out. And here comes Colton Whitehouse. And Whitehouse got his first career homer last weekend. Got a couple of runs scored, 2 for 5 on the weekend last weekend, so he's hitting 400s coming in tonight. And here's the first pitch. Just misses, and it's 1-0. So Delgadillo is going to go from the windup here. Second and third, nobody out. The Westerner corner infielders are in. Middle guys are back a little bit. That ball, all right, we're going to go up, down, in, out here for strikes. That's a strike. Ball looked a little high, but it's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? 1 ball, 1 strike. Inside corner. And we're going to call them in and out and up and down, so you better be swinging here. If you're a hitter in tonight's ball game, this umpire doesn't want to be out here any longer than he has to. 1-2 with nobody out. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Whitehouse goes down on strike. That's a big strikeout for Delgadillo. First strikeout of the night for this freshman from Corpus Christi King High School. 5'10" and 195 is Dylan Delgadillo. And here comes Jordan Trahan. Trahan, all he did last year was set a new record for the Apaches in the Division III era for RBIs. Had 62 of them last year. And in the Division III era, that is tops. Well, Brock Lehmeyer had 60 back in 2007. And, of course, the fisherman, Josh Salmon, also had 60. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. The big fella waves through an off-speed pitch. And it's quickly 0-2. So you got to like the response from Dylan Delgadillo after giving up a couple of hits. He is really settled in here and struck out one guy and got way ahead of the Apaches' cleanup hitter. That pitch just missed outside. It's 1-2. A flare single to left field by the left-handed batting McCusick and a double by Broadway to right center. Whoa, strike 3. And both pitchers logging up to strikeouts here. Back-to-back strikeouts, and now you're one pitch away from getting out of trouble in the first. Nice job there by Dylan Delgadillo, painting the corner. Here's Blake Maddox, and if there was a star offensively last weekend, this guy was the star of the weekend. Maddox, 5 RBIs, 5 for 8, hit .625. Breaking pitch, Maddox way out in front. No balls, 1 strike. 2 outs and 2 aboard for the Apaches here in the bottom of inning number 1. This is a 9-inning ball game tonight. 0-1 pitch inside, and we're even at 1. Coach Wren would like nothing better than for Maddox to stay hot here and drive in a couple of runs. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Just misses on the outside. And it's 2-1. You do have that base open. And you got Jarrell McDade on deck for the Apaches. McDade last week did not get a hit, so I think I might be very careful with Blake here. Here's the 2-1. Just missed outside, 3-1, and it looks like they are being careful. And you got a base open, so your Maddox here, you don't want to chase a breaking pitch. You're probably going to see another one. See if you can get Blake to go fishing. Here's the next pitch, and that's a changeup in the dirt, and it's a 2-out walk. An intentional walk there. And the bases are now loaded. I mean, from the defensive standpoint, now you got force plays at all 4 bases, so that just makes a lot of sense to put Maddox on, especially you look at their numbers. And he's leading us in RBIs and had a home run and a double last week. No surprise there by Maddox drawing the walk. Here comes Jarrell McDade looking for his first Apache hit. First pitch. Misses outside, ball 1. Nowhere to put McDade here. So Delgadillo's going to have to give him something to hit sooner or later. Wind up, here's the 1-0. Inside, just misses. McDade had a notion but held up. So it's 2-0 now on the Apache left fielder. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Little chopper foul into the on-deck area for the Westerners. About a 6-hour trip over from, I believe it's Snyder, Texas, on the other side of Abilene. Probably maybe 15, 20 minutes north of I-20 in West Texas. Here's the 2-1. Ball drifted inside, and it's 3-1. So now, if you're McDade here, you got to load it up here and look for something good to hit. If you don't get it, take it. Get an RBI. Easiest RBI of the season. Here's the 3-1. Missed inside, and there you go. A bases-loaded walk, and it's 1-0 Apaches. So in to score the game's first run is Matt McCusick, and that'll bring up the 7th batter of the inning. Here's Eric Bullock. And last week, Bullock got a couple of hits, 2 for 5 on the weekend. Did not score a run, did not drive anyone in. So this discussion between Coach Wren and Bullock is simply, hey, be patient here. Make him throw you something good to hit. You got bases loaded, and we'll let him walk the world if he's going to. And Eric's going to stroll back into the batter's box with the bases loaded and 2 outs. The Apaches now own a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. Here's the first pitch. In there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Well, we've seen the strike zone, and it's going to be pretty liberal here. Just got to get it close. Here's the 0-1. Outside corner, nicely done there. And Delgadillo 1 pitch away from trying to get the Westerners back in the dugout with minimal damage. Here's the 0-2. High on the fastball, and it's 1-2. Bullock, the freshman from Plano, Texas, 6'6" and 190. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball, third base side, just foul. Coach Wren trying to sell it down there. Nice job. Nicely done. He was hoping that ball, the rule is if that ball hits and goes over any part of that bag in fair territory, it's a fair ball. It does not have to hit on the other side of the bag in fair territory as long as it goes over the corner, any part of that bag. It's an imaginary plane that goes up. So Coach Wren immediately jumped up and pointed to fair territory, but the home plate umpire was having none of that. 1-2 pitch. Inside, 2-2. So we've seen Delgadillo have a little bit of trouble commanding the inside part of the plate. He lost a number of those pitches inside to McDade, and now he's doing the same thing here to Bullock. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, nicely blocked by the catcher. Garrett Scott saved a run right there. And it's full count, bases loaded. Everyone's moving on this pitch. So now you might get an extra run out of it if McDade can get on his horse and we get a base hit in the gap somewhere. 3-2, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got out of trouble. Nicely done by Dylan Delgadillo. He gave up one run on the bases loaded walk, but he came back to get Bullock for the third out of the first inning. But the Apaches score first here, and they lead it 1-0. Back in just a minute on ApacheAthletics.com. And welcome back to Mike Carter Field. Appreciate a couple of you shooting me a couple of notes here. We heard Miss Hughes rooting for old Avery Hebert from Baytown. Thanks for that quick note, Miss Hughes. And we heard on the pregame interview, if you didn't, that old Avery might get the ball this weekend. Glad to have him back in the swing of things here on the mound. And we've heard from the Bugays from Parker, Colorado. So it's always good to hear from Dave and Beverly Bugay. And I hope they're staying warm up there. It's a little chilly in East Texas. I got to believe it's a little chillier in Colorado at this point. So for the Westerners, it's going to be 4, 5, and 6. Donovan Lopez leads it off, the center fielder. First pitch fouled straight back. And it's 0-1. So the word has gotten back to the dugout. You better go up hacking. And old Lopez takes a pretty good healthy rip at the first fastball he saw. 0-1 count. Daniel Bogue winds and delivers. It's high, and it's 1-1. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of inning number 2. Bogue threw 12 pitches in inning number 1. The Apaches were able to drive Delgadillo's pitch count up to 29. So for someone in this first ball game of the year, that does not bode well for the Westerners. They're probably going to have to go their bullpen a little earlier than they had hoped, perhaps, just because of that almost 30-pitch first inning by Dylan Delgadillo. 2 balls and a strike. Donovan Lopez at the plate. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And it's 2-2. Lopez playing center field sophomore. He's from Sinton, Texas. The next pitch misses. And it's a full count. 3-2, nobody out. Lopez, the sophomore from Sinton High School. I had a player, Rick Dyer, from Sinton, Texas, years ago. Look out! And I don't know if it got him. I think it did. It's going to go as a hit by pitch. I think that hit him. Because the umpire called time. Otherwise, that ball's live. So, hit by pitch leads it off for the Westerners. They get their leadoff guy on. There goes the perfect game. And stepping in is Ramiro Sanchez. Left-handed batter, first one of the night for the Westerners. And snap throw over, nothing going there. Awesome. Thank you, Miss Henderson, for the comments. Watching in Alvin, Texas, go Apaches. We've heard, would love to hear from you if you're watching. I'd love to know who you're rooting for and where you're watching from. Again, anyone online, anywhere on the planet. Don't know if Miss Busing is in the USA at this point or if she's halfway around the world. Last weekend, she was in Shanghai, China, and she shot us a quick text message. So if you want to, shoot us a note either through the YouTube channel or through the Remind text system. There's another throw over to first base. Nothing going over there. Lopez back in plenty of time. We don't have any stats on this year because these are the Westerners' first ball games. We do know last year they were 16-37 on the season. 0-1 pitch, outside corner, 0-2. And we have seen Mr. Umpire with a pretty good zone tonight. Like to see it. He's given both pitchers the outside part of the plate and probably a little bit off of there. 0-2, here's the pitch. In on the hands, look out, that ball's going to ricochet throughout the ballpark here. This historic Mike Carter Field, built in the 30s, an old WPA project, seats 4,000 fans. And I don't know if we have 400 tonight, but we got a good crowd. Lots of blankets and hoodies tonight. Heavy jackets. Even though the breeze isn't blowing too badly, it is definitely chilly sitting on those aluminum bleachers. Wind has died down since we started and probably won't be too much of a factor at all tonight. Daniel Bogue, the sophomore from Tyler, gets his sign. Comes set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout. That's 4 on the night for Bogue. And that's the first out of the second inning. Here's Jorge Napoles, the shortstop. And he'll step in for the first time tonight. Napoles listed on their roster as a sophomore. Let's see where he's from. He is from Brooklyn, New York. So pretty wide variety of locations on the roster for the Westerners. Obviously, you've got a lot of Texans, but you've got Puerto Rico, New York represented. We already established somebody's. We had someone from Florida, and I see Alberta, Canada on their roster as well. 1-0 pitch, ground ball to short. Boyd over to second, and they got the lead runner for the second out. It's going to go 6-4 on the force out. So Lopez is out at second. Napoles will stay at first with 2 outs. Here's Dalton Castillo, the designated hitter.
Up to bat, number 22, Dalton Castillo.
So Castillo will be up there, 2 outs, runner at first. In a 1-0 game, the Apaches were able to get 1 run on a bases-loaded walk to Jarrell McDade. So he'll get that RBI. First pitch, and it hit him. And so now 2 hit batters in the inning for Bogue. And Napoles will go to second. And Josh Baltiera, the second baseman, steps in.
Josh Baltiera.
Baltiero will get his first at-bat of, actually it's going to be his first at-bat of the college career. He's a freshman. Baltiero, a freshman infielder, 5'9", 175, out of Corpus Christi, Cala Allen. Bo gets his sign, checks the runner. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. And it's 0-1. So both squads have had their share of base runners here in the early going. Apache's loaded them up in inning number 1 and able to scratch for 1 run on the bases loaded walk. And the Westerners looking to even things up, if not more. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's well outside, and we're even at 1-1. All right, Mason Whitmarsh from Keller. Appreciate him giving us a quick note. Next pitch fouled off of the helmet of Blake Maddox, and it's 1-2 now. On the second baseman, Josh Baltiera. All right, the Whitmarsh family rooting for number 26. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Appreciate all the notes. Got a couple more I'll have to check here in a moment. 1-2, 2 outs, 2 aboard. Here's the pitch. Outside, and it's 2-2. Daniel Bogue working here in inning number 2. He's already got 4 strikeouts of Westerner batters through 1 2/3 innings of work. He'd love nothing more than to get another one right here. 2's on the board. Here's the pitch. Missed inside, and it's full. Now we're going to have runners moving. Maddox is going to go out and talk to the sophomore left-hander. Try to encourage him here to get a ball in play and get us back in the dugout to try to add to a 1-0 lead. First game of his head coaching career for Kenny Jackson, the head coach for the Westerners. Played his junior college ball at Alvin and then 2 years with A&M. Played shortstop for the Aggies. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bo going from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Fouled it straight back. Nice job right there by Baltier just to fight that one off. Tough pitch. And he just did get a piece of it. So we'll do it again at 3-2. Yeah, we're already down to 49 degrees. So much for the 50s. 3-2, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Pop up, should do it. McCusack is going to call everyone off. And, oh, he dropped it. Oh, golly. 1 run is in. Here comes another run, and the runner delayed. Can't handle the throw, and everybody's safe. And, man, oh, man, that's a tough play right there. Little bit of a breeze. Still, there's not much of a breeze. Matt McCusack just misplayed that ball. He's going to make that play 99 times out of 100, but unfortunately this one he couldn't make. And so it's going to be an error on McCusack, E4, and 2 runs are going to come score for the Westerners, and they now lead it 2-1. Well, they were off with the pitch, and it was a high pop-up, so they had time to circle the bases, and a good throw and a catch at home plate might have ended things, but Maddox could not secure the throw. And it's now 2-1. Western Texas leads it. So Bogue's going to have to compose himself. That ball's fouled out of play over toward the Rose Football Stadium. We are right next to the Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium, football stadium just to the right side of this ballpark. And back to our left is the Tyler Rose Garden. Just behind us, Harvey Convention Center. We're on the East Texas Rose City Complex. Just about a mile inside the West Loop. 0-1 is the count, 2 outs and a runner at second. Here's the pitch. Fastball, and he got it by him. We're at the 9 spot in the Westerner lineup. Tyler Dick is at the plate. First at bat of the night. And for Tyler Dick, this is his first at bat as a collegiate player. The freshman from San Antonio. 5'8" and 170. He's a switch hitter. 0-2 with 2 outs. Bogue trying to get the Apaches back in the dugout. Would not chase the high fastball, and it's 1-2. Westerners wearing those black tops with the gray pants and the piping and the green and white trim. Their mascot kind of looks like an old Western cowboy. If you look at their website. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs here. Top of inning number 2. 9-inning ball game here tonight. Here it is. Ooh, umpire thought about calling it. He looked like he was rearing up to pull that gun out of the holster, but it stayed there, and it's now 2-2. 2 outs. The runner at second is Baltiera, who hit that pop-up that McCusick could not secure. With the runners moving, 2 runs came through. Here's the next pitch. Just missed inside. And we're now full at 3-2. If Tyler Dick should reach here, we'd go back to the top of the Westerner lineup, and it'd be Philip Sanchez. The Westerners still without a hit, but 2 runs in the inning. Here's the payoff pitch. Fouled straight back. Good rip right there by Tyler Dick. And we'll do it again at 3-2. Daniel Bogue taking his time here with a full count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. That's going to be strikeout number 5 for Daniel Bogue. And the inning is over, but the Westerners get 2 runs on no hits. They leave 1 on. And we'll go to the bottom half of inning number 2. Your new score for Mike Carter is Western Texas 2 and the Apaches 1. Welcome back to Tyler, Texas, and I think we've heard from our first Westerner fan, if I'm reading this right. Not exactly sure who it is, but they're rooting for that pitcher, Dylan Delgadillo. They're from Corpus Christi, so I'll give you a shout out down in Corpus or wherever you're rooting for number 24, Dylan Delgadillo. Thanks for giving us a quick shout out. And for the Apaches, it's going to be 8, 9, and 1 here in inning number 2. It's going to be Boyd, Evans, and then back to the top in Matt McCusick. First pitch was in there for strike 1 from the right-handed freshman from Corpus, Dylan Delgadillo. So thanks so much for all of you. And if you haven't shot me a quick note, love to hear from you. I've heard some of you on the Remind and some of you through the YouTube message system. Either way, I'll try to give you a quick shout out. Got any questions about things? Feel free to shoot questions my way. Do my best to get them answered. One ball, 2 strikes to Luke Boyd, the shortstop. Just missed high, not much. And it's now 2-2. Boyd last weekend, 2 for 3 in his debut as an Apache. Did not have a run scored, did not drive anyone in. Breaking pitch misses low, and now we're full. 3-2 and nobody out. Bottom of inning number 2. The Westerners hold a 2-1 lead. Here's the pitch. Just low, and it's a leadoff walk for Luke Boyd. So both these pitchers have had their moments.
Now batting, number 18,
Delgadillo struck out the side in the first, but he walked one batter, and there's his second walk in as many innings. And we also saw Daniel Bogue hit a couple of guys in the second inning of work for him. So a 27-pitch inning for Bogue now has him at 39 for the evening. Snap throw over there, nothing going there with Boyd getting back easily. Here's Chase Evans, the center fielder. First pitch in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. So both teams now have hit through the lineup at least one time. Evans in the 9 spot for Coach Wren tonight. Another snap throw over, and Boyd back easily. Glad you're with us tonight. Dr. John Groth on the play-by-play. Dr. Charles Johnson to my left, the TJC English legend. That's a well hit to left center. I don't think anyone's going to get that. One hop off the fence. Wren's going to send the runner Boyd home. Here's the throw to third, and he's going to be out at third base. But the run will score, and we're tied at 2 on the RBI double by Chase Evans. Well hit ball to left center field. So Evans will get an RBI double. He'll be out on the 7-5, or 7-6-5, more like it, I guess, on the relay throw. But Boyd came all the way around to score, and we are now tied 2-2. So back and forth we go, back to the top of the lineup, and Matt McCusick. McCusick singled to left field his first time up and scored the game's first run back in the first inning. First pitch misses for ball 1. That ball's fouled back toward the Rose Garden, and that will be out of range of the Camry, so Camry will stay in one piece for now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Nobody aboard. We are tied at 2 here in the second. The Apaches have just tied it with a leadoff walk and a double by Chase Evans. Little looping fly ball. It's going to go foul down the left field line into the bullpen area of Western Texas. And the count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes. So we've seen McCusick go the other way in both of his at-bats thus far. And you got the left fielder, Philip Sanchez, playing way in there in left field. Left fielder played around, or the center fielder played around to left a little bit. That ball comes inside, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Right fielder playing a little bit to pull, actually. So interesting outfield alignment at this point. Center and left are playing McCusick to hit it that way, and the right fielder actually playing a little bit to pull. Inside, oh, wow. Well, I know that Delgadillo thought it was strike 3. I thought it was strike 3. The umpire looked like he was going to call strike 3, and then he changed his mind. So we're at a full count now, 3-2. Ground ball left side. Third baseman Diaz drops it, picks it up, and still has time to get McCusick for the second out. So that'll go 5-3 off the bat of Matt McCusick. And Luis Diaz, the sophomore third baseman, moved to his left, gloved it. It fell down, picked it up quickly, and still had time to get Matt McCusick for the second out of the inning. Here's Tyler Broadway. He doubled to center field in his first at-bat. Really set the table for the Apaches' first run in inning number 1. Here's the first pitch to Broadway. Inside corner, strike 1. Don't think, well, this is the first go-around with the all-whites here tonight. That ball's in the dirt, and we're even at 1-1. Appreciate you joining us tonight. If you got family or friends that want to join the broadcast, spread the word. We'd love to hear from as many as we can around the planet that might have a chance to watch this anywhere on the internet. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, and nobody aboard. Here's the pitch. Slow breaking ball. That's probably the slowest breaking pitch we've seen from Delgadillo tonight. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Delgadillo started the inning with 29 pitches. And that was pitch number 46. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He pulled the string on him. Strikeout number 4 for Dylan Delgadillo. And that's it for the Apaches in the second. But they do come back with 1 run of their own. We are tied at 2 as we go to the third. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a minute on ApacheAthletics.com. Welcome back to Mike Carter. Got a couple of more shout-outs. Go Westerners. We got some Westerner fans giving me some notes. I appreciate that greatly. Dwayne and Debbie Bissett from Sherwood Park, Alberta, Canada. So welcome aboard. Appreciate you joining the broadcast from way up yonder in Canada. And from Houston, go Nicholas Hollis, the pitcher. Dad and I are watching. Love and pride. So thanks for shooting that note. And from Lubbock, Texas, rope 'em. I guess that's what they say for the Westerners. Clayton Milkowski. Appreciate the notes by everybody, and keep them coming. Love to hear from all of you. If you get a chance to shoot a note, either through the YouTube channel or through the Remind text system I've set up there with instructions on how to do that as well. 2 balls and no strikes now as we go to the top of the Westerner lineup. Foul tip right off the mask of the umpire, back up on the screen. And Philip Sanchez struck out swinging his first time up. Freshman left fielder for the Westerners. He's from Cypress, Texas, Cy Creek. Swing and a miss, and he strikes out for the second time tonight. Oop. Well, my bad. That's an E on the scoreboard, man. Or maybe the E on the umpire. Everyone's blaming everyone else here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and nobody out. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, third base side. And across the diamond goes Colton Whitehouse with the 5-3. So 2 up and 2 down. Daniel Bogue settling in a little bit here in the third.
Now
Started the inning with 39 pitches. Here's. No, wait a minute. What? Oh, I marked it. Okay, I'm already ahead of myself here. I already had him punched out. So it's a 5-3 for Sanchez, and here's Diaz. Luis Diaz, the third baseman, steps in. First pitch misses for ball one. Diaz struck out looking back in the first as Daniel Bogue struck out the side in order in inning number 1. 1-0 pitch. Just misses outside, 2-0. The Westerners still looking for their first hit. 2 runs on no hits and no errors. The Apaches 2 runs, 3 hits, and 1 error. Inside, 3-0. So after kind of cruising through those first two, or their first batter rather, here's Diaz now pushing it to a 3-0 count. Swing and a miss. Guess he had the green light. Took a hack. And I'm going to take a guess that old Mr. Diaz might be a pull hitter. That third base coach is out in left field. And there's ball 4. So it's a 1-out walk for Luis Diaz. And for Daniel Bogue, that's his first walk of the night against 5 strikeouts. And stepping in now is the catcher, Garrett Scott. He struck out swinging his first time up. The Westerners trying to break the tie here. We're even at 2, top of inning number 3. First pitch misses high, ball 1. All right, Chase Evans' parents, feathers up. Appreciate you hearing from the Evans family. Two balls, no strikes, 1 out. 2-2 ball game, top of the 3rd. Fouled straight back, and it'll be 2-1. One out with 1 runner aboard. Bogue looking for that double play ball right here. Got a catcher at the plate. Love for him to roll one over and turn 2. That ball misses outside, and it's 3-1. Every once in a while we get a breeze into this press box. It is chilly out. I guess you got to love someone to come out and watch baseball in this weather. I'm sorry. That ball is in there for a strike, and we're full. 3-2, 1 out. Garrett Scott at the plate. Donovan Lopez on deck for the Westerners. We're tied at 2 here in the 3rd inning. Bogue has his sign. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, could be 2, 4, 6, and 3, and got him! Nicely done by the Apaches. A bang-bang play, and that'll end the 3rd inning for the Westerners. Nicely done by McCusick and Boyd to turn that double play. Good stretch over there by Eric Bullock. And a double play off the bat of Garrett Scott ends the threat here in inning number 3. We'll go to the bottom half of the 3rd, and we're still tied at 2-2. Back in just a minute on ApacheAthletics.com. Welcome back to Mike Carter. Checking that weather forecast for tomorrow. If you're thinking of coming in to watch the double dip between these two, bring your jacket. Going to be an overcast day tomorrow at Mike Carter. Game time temperature for that 1 o'clock first pitch is 45 degrees, 15% chance of rain, so might get a little soggy here, and with the chilly weather and the moisture, that makes it a little challenging. So if you are planning on coming over for the double dip tomorrow, you might want to bring the parka and maybe an extra blanket or two. 0-1 pitch fouled straight back by Colton Whitehouse. He struck out swinging his first time up. We're in the bottom of inning number 3. It's 3, 4, and 5 for the Apaches. Whitehouse, Trahan, and Maddox. And they'll face the freshman from Corpus Christi, Dylan Delgadillo. Got to think that we aren't going to go too much further with this young man on the mound on the first outing of the year on a cool night here in Tyler. 1 o'clock start tomorrow. That's a little bit later. Normally go noon on Saturday, but we're going at 1, so no balls and 2 strikes. Nobody on and nobody out. Bottom of inning number 3. All right, we're starting to get a couple more. There's a couple of you checking in here, and I'll try to read those here momentarily. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Popped out of play. We'll do it again. Colton Whitehouse. Batting in the 3 spot for Coach Wren and the Apaches tonight. Janelle Carver. Go Apaches from Bryan, Texas. All right, she's attending a cheer competition. Swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch. And Whitehouse way out in front of that. Strikeout number 5 for Delgadillo. Both pitchers racking up the strikeouts here in this ball game. Both of them have 5 strikeouts. Daniel Bogue now has thrown 54 pitches through 3 innings, and Dylan Delgadillo will give you his pitch count here in a second. Here's Jordan Trahan, the big fella. 52 pitches now for Delgadillo. So both these pitchers with a little higher pitch count than I'm sure both head coaches would like at this point. 0-1 pitch. Fouled out of play. It's headed over toward the railroad tracks. And it's quickly 0-2 on Jordan Trahan. Again, Trahan now in the has the RBI record in the Division III era for the Apaches. He had 62 of them last year. Also in the leaders for homer, actually tied for the lead in homers with Brock Lemar at 10. Swing and a miss. Got him. Trahan strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. 6th strikeout of the night for Delgadillo. And here's Blake Maddox. He walked his first time up. He's the hottest Apache hitter so far this year. Again, 5 RBIs last weekend, double and a home run. He'll step in against the freshman right-hander from Corpus Christi, King, Dylan Delgadillo. That pitch is in there for strike 1. Well, both these pitchers seem to have had their moments of really good command and other moments where it got away from them a little bit. And that's kind of what you expect early on in the season, especially on a cool night. Here's the 0-1. Fouled out of play down the right side. And again, quickly 0-2 on an Apache batter. Delgadillo just filling that strike zone up. 2 outs and nobody aboard. 2-2 tie. Here's the 0-2. Just misses high and away, not by much. We've seen him go out there before. And it's 1-2. Hitters kind of know at this point, 2nd time through the lineup, Mr. Umpire's got a pretty generous zone tonight. You got to be hacking. Delgadillo has his sign. Here's the pitch. 1-2 hopper to the shortstop. And Napolis throws it over, and a scoop over there by the first baseman, Sanchez. And it's 3 up and 3 down here in the 3rd inning for the Apaches. We'll go to the 4th. Tied at 2. Back in just a minute on ApacheAthletics.com. All right, a couple more shout-outs here. We got Mimi and Gramps watching Nicholas. So they're rooting for the Westerners. So that's appreciate that shout-out, Martha Beamer. And also Miss Janelle Carver from Bryan, Texas. Can't be there. Headed to San Antonio watching the sisters cheer competition. So she's rooting for the Thunder Elite and the Apaches at the same time. So appreciate her taking a moment to shoot us a quick note. Hope things are going well down there. For the Westerners, it's 4, 5, and 6 here in the top of the 4th inning. First pitch in there for strike 1. Daniel Bogue still on the hill. That was pitch number 55 for him. As Lopez, the cleanup hitter for the Westerners, he got hit by a pitch his first time up. That ball was short of the plate, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Just getting going here in the 4th of a 2-2 tie. Westerners still looking for their first hit. Here's the 1-1. That ball's well hit to left. That has got a chance, and off the fence, just above the TJC sign. And that ball was crushed by the cleanup hitter, Donovan Lopez. There's the first hit of the night. And with authority, Lopez drives the ball off the wall in left. So Ramiro Sanchez will step in. Sanchez steps in, and obviously what you want to see out of Sanchez here is something on the right side to move that runner over to third with less than 2. We got Eric Bullock kind of creeping in, even with the bag, almost in a bunt position. Both corners are playing in. We'll see if Sanchez is called upon to bunt here. Appears as though the Apache defense believes he's going to. Runner at second, nobody out in a tie game. Top of the 4th of a 9-inning game. Tomorrow will be a 7-9 as far as I know. First game will be a 7, the second one will be a 9. Here's the pitch to Sanchez. Misses high. 1 ball, no strikes, nobody out. Apaches with 1 run in the first and 1 run in the second. The Westerners got both their runs on a misplayed pop-up with 2 outs by the Apaches. So we are tied at 2 in the top of the 4th. The Westerners just got their first hit of the night off of Daniel Bogue. 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. It appears as though when there's a runner at second, Bogue is very deliberate. Takes a little bit more time getting that ball to home plate. Trying to keep the runner honest out at second base. One pitch. Popped it up. Don't know if it's going to leave the playing field, and it's actually going to stay in play, and Blake Maddox cannot grab it. Tough play. That's probably going to be Whitehouse's ball. Blake Maddox came a long way for that, And normally you'd have your third baseman come over and make that play, and Whitehouse was not in position to catch it. Maddox made the best effort he could, actually left his feet at the last minute to try to dive and grab it right in front of the Westerner dugout. Could not secure the baseball, so it count will go 1-2 with 2 outs, and Sanchez will get another crack at things here. You kind of hate that to happen. Wasn't an easy play for either guy, but it's really hard with the catcher with all that gear on and sometimes the spin of the ball running out from the catcher's position. That's a really tough play in front of the dugout. Here's the 1-2. Little chopper foul. We'll do it again. Do not want to get a foul tip on the fingertip tonight, I'll tell you that. We'll stay at 1-2. All right, Miss Trahan watching from Liberty. Let's go, big guy. Yeah, let's go. Got a lot of baseball left. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Way outside, Maddox somehow got a glove on it. He's going to go out and have a chat with old Daniel Bogue and try to keep him a little closer to home plate with his pitches. And now Coach Jackson going to have a word with his left-handed first baseman, Ramiro Sanchez. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Might have reminded him, hey, try to get something to pull on the ground here. It's kind of the goal here. You left-handed batter. Your job is to move that runner over in any way you can. Apache infield now has backed up with 2 strikes. Earlier in their count, looked like they were playing for a bunt. We got nobody out, runner at second. 2-2 count. Here's the pitch. Ground ball up the middle, and McCusick dives, makes the play, but will not be able to make a throw. So he saves a run by knocking it down, and Sanchez is safe at first base on the infield single. Lopez will go to third base on that play, and here's Jorge Napoles. So Napoles, first and third, you got to put a defense on if you're the Apaches, and you'll probably take an out for a run here. So at third, you're probably going down angles as a base runner. You got the center fielder at third base, and now you got the first baseman at first base for the Westerners. So got a little more speed probably at third than you do at first. And the first pitch misses for a 1-0 count. 2-2 is our score. We're in the top of the 4th. Westerners trying to mount an early rally here in this inning. First and third, nobody out. Jorge Napoles at the plate. 0 for 1 tonight. That fouled out of play, and we're even at 1-1. The Westerners now with 2 hits going into this inning. We were tied at 2, and they didn't have any hits yet, and a double off the wall and an infield single, and all of a sudden we're almost tied in the hit column. Got a little bit of movement down in that Apache bullpen. Swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch, and it's 1-2. Bogue now at 65 pitches, so early in his 2017 season, you'd think that Coach Sherman thinking about doing something with the Apache bullpen. We got a right-hander up. I don't know if we have a name on. You guys know, see who's down there? Kuykendall's up in the bullpen. Popped it up, shallow center field. Evans coming in, plenty of room to catch it. The runner's going to go. Here's the throw to the plate, and he's going to be safe. A tough play as Maddox dropped the ball. The ball was there well before the runner, and unfortunately Blake could not hold on to that tag. Runner slid in, and the ball popped out of Blake's glove. So, I don't know, tough call there. I might call it an error on Maddox. That ball was there way ahead of the runner. And so the sac fly for Napoles will get an RBI for him. He'll be out on the F8. And Lopez will be safe at home plate. And it's 3-2 Westerners. 1 out, runner at second base. So nice base running by Sanchez to get to second base on the sacrifice fly to center. I think that throw came all the way on a fly, didn't it? Pretty good throw, so almost got to give an error there. I don't know Kind of a tough error for Blake, but he was waiting on the runner with the ball and just dropped it as the runner slid in. First pitch misses outside, and it's 1-0. This is Dalton Castillo, the designated hitter for the Westerners. They now lead at 3-2. We're in the top of the 4th inning. 9-inning ball game tonight. Doubleheader tomorrow starting at 1. We'll be on the air about 12:45. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Castillo with that big leg kick. Had a pretty good hack at a 1-0 fastball. Could not catch up. Daniel Bogue has gone the distance for the Apaches. We do have James Kuykendall down in the Apache bullpen, and he's been throwing for a minute or two, so he's probably ready when needed here. Swing and a miss. Another fastball that Castillo cannot catch up to. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out with a runner at second. Good base running by Jorge Napoles to get to second on that throw to the plate from Evans. A little excitement here in the 4th. As those are momentum plays that shift it either way. If the Apaches can hold on to that ball at the plate, you got momentum with a nice defensive play. And, of course, it didn't work out that way, so now the Westerners with some momentum. Pops it up, infield pop-up, and looks like Bullock is under it. He'll squeeze it for the second out. McCusack running in as if there was 3 outs, so got to get your head in the game a little bit here, Apaches. F3 if you're scoring at the house. 2 outs, and the runner will stay at second. Here is Josh Baltiera.
Now batting, number 2, Josh Altiera.
And we're still trying to figure things out a little bit here in the early going. Game number 3 of the season, and we heard Coach Wren on the pregame talk about kind of juggling things around and just trying to find that lineup that works and find that pitching rotation that works. Popped out of play. Quickly 0-1 on the second baseman, Josh Baltier. He reached on an error by Matt McCusack in the 2nd inning, a pop-up that McCusack could not hold on to. 2 runs came across with 2 outs. So he's looking for his first hit of the night. 0-1 with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball. And it's 0-2. So Coach Wren talked about consistency on the mound and consistency in the field and at the plate, and that's what you look for as you want to try to get into the win column. And so far, really neither of these pitchers have been totally consistent, as Apache defense has struggled a little bit here early as well. 0-2 pitch. High, 1-2. Western Texas 3, Tyler 2. 2 outs here, top of 4. Got a 1-2 count on Josh Baltiera, batting in the 8th spot for the Westerners. Here's the pitch. Misses outside. It's even up at 2-2. Baltiera 0 for 1. Reached on an error. Bogue now with 75 pitches. And you might think this might be it for him. We'll just see how Coach Sherman looks at things here when this inning is over. Misses, and it's full, 3-2. Well, I never like bringing guys in with bases loaded. Got to think that perhaps they would let Bogue finish the inning. We'll see how that works out. 3-2, 2 outs. Runner at second is Romero Sanchez. Little chopper, tough play. Whitehouse coming in at third, and he can't do anything but hold on to it. So it's another infield single. Swinging bunt off the bat of Josh Baltiera. 1B5 if you're scoring at the house. Sanchez will scoot over to third, And now, once again, you got first and third with 2 outs. And here's Tyler Dick. And Sherm comes out, and did he make the call? He did. So we got a pitching change back in just a minute. I believe James Kuykendall will be coming in. We'll give you the particulars on him in just a second. And welcome back to Mike Carter Field. Dr. John Groth on the play-by-play for you tonight. Appreciate you joining the broadcast. Would love to hear from as many of you as possible. So if you want to type a quick note into that YouTube message box or shoot me a text message through the Remind system. We have heard from Ms. Trahan in Liberty. And heard a number of you over the course of the evening. The new pitcher is going to be James Kuykendall, 6'1" and 200 pounds. The right-handed sophomore out of Spring, Texas. And Kuykendall actually took one of the losses last weekend, so he's 0-1. An inning and 2/3 of work so far this season. 1 strikeout, no walks for the sophomore from Spring, Texas, out of that Houston area. And stepping in now is the left-handed, actually Dick's a switch hitter. So Tyler Dick now, he struck out his first time up to end the second inning. He's got a chance to extend the lead. The Westerners lead it 3-2. First and third, 2 outs. First pitch from Kuykendall, a bunt attempt. The runner was actually coming. The throw into left field off the back of Sanchez, and a run's going to come in, and it's 4-2. It's going to be an error on Maddox. An errant throw hit the runner Sanchez in the back. And so it's now 4-2 Westerners, and the errors are adding up here for the Apaches. Maddox thought he had a crack to pick off Sanchez at third, and unfortunately that ball went right off his back and into left field. Baltiera scooted down to second, so now you have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Next pitch from Kuykendall is going to miss, and it's 1-1. So the Apaches giving a little bit of help here to the Westerners, and they're taking full advantage. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Westerners have added 2 runs in this 4th inning, and that's a strike, so it's 1-2. James Kuykendall trying to stop the bleeding a little bit here. The Westerners have 4 runs on just 2 hits. Well, that's not right. They got at least 3 hits, double and 2 infield singles. Yeah, they got they got 3 hits, all in this inning. There we go. Okay, 4 runs on 3 hits. The Apaches 2 runs on 3 hits. Unfortunately for the Apaches, they got 3 in that error column. 1-2 pitch, late swing, almost took it out of Maddox's glove there. Somehow got the bat on it, and the ball chopped over toward the Westerner dugout. Coach Jackson told me that the Westerners actually drove in here last night, so they spent the night here in Tyler. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Did not chase a fastball high, and we're 2-2. Kuykendall has his sign. 2-2 pitch. High, 3-2. So James trying to settle in here a little bit. Pushes the count out to full against the switch hitting right fielder, Tyler Dick. Trying to get his first hit of the night. He struck out swinging in his first at-bat. Payoff pitch. Fouled straight back. A fastball. Pretty good swing right there. Just got a piece of it. And we'll do it again at 3-2. Actually, for a cool Friday night, we got a nice little crowd here. Everyone I can see has got the heavy jacket, if not more. A lot of blankets out at the ballpark. This is a hot chocolate night for sure. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 4-2. The Westerners lead this one. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. So that's Kuykendall's first strikeout of the night. And for Apache pitchers, it's strikeout number 6. But the Westerners do get 2 more runs on 3 hits. They leave 1 on. We go to the bottom half of inning number 4. Your new score from Mike Carter Field here in Tyler, Texas. Western Texas 4 and Tyler 2. Back in just a minute. Welcome back to Mike Carter Field. And we've heard from Granny and Pawpaw rooting for Avery Hebert. So appreciate you hearing from the Heberts. They're rooting for Avery. We'll see if he gets the ball either tonight or this weekend. I know Coach Wren on the pregame interview indicated that Avery would probably see the mound this weekend at some point. So that was good news. First pitch is in there for strike 1 to Jarrell McDade. He walked his first time up. He got a bases-loaded walk. So he got an RBI his first time up. He's 0 for 0 with an RBI tonight. Line shot left field, but it's right at the left fielder, Philip Sanchez, for out number 1. That's an L7 well-hit ball off the bat of Jarrell McDade for out number 1. 4-2, the Westerners lead this one. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Here's first baseman Eric Bullock, struck out swinging his first time up. And Dylan Delgadillo still on the mound for the Westerners, doing a nice job. There's a chopper foul into the bleachers, over and back behind the Westerner dugout. Strike 1. If you're watching anywhere on the planet, shoot us a note. We'd love to give you a shout out, let people know who's watching and who they're rooting for. Another chopper foul into the net. Quickly 0-2 on Eric Bullock. Again, Bullock last weekend was 2 for 5, so a 400 average coming into tonight's ball game. So far tonight, 0 for 1. 0-2 pitch. Popped up, should not be a problem. As Lopez comes in and out. Oh, it's going to be dropped by the shortstop, Napoli. So we've had that happen twice tonight. And an ever so slight breeze blowing at this point, but again, I don't know if these infielders are struggling, if it's I don't know. The lights are outstanding lights here, so I don't know that it's a light issue. And that's going to be an error on the shortstop. So Bullock gets all the way to second on that high pop-up. I thought the center fielder Lopez was going to come in and take it, but Jorge Napoles went out into short center and had time to grab it, and much like McCusack early in the game, it just bounced off his glove. So with one out, runner at second, first pitch misses to Luke Boyd, the shortstop. He walked and scored a run back in the second inning. 4-2. Westerners lead the Apaches. Line shot, foul. Right over Coach Wren's head down in third base coach's box. He's got the hoodie on. Hasn't gone any deeper than the hoodie tonight. See if he goes to the big jacket or if he stays with that hoodie. He's got the gloves on, though, I think. Gone to the gloves here. 1-1 pitch. Well hit left field. And this is over everyone's head. It's going to one-hop the fence. Boyd's into second with a double, and it's 4-3. An RBI double for Luke Boyd, and it's a one-run game here in the fourth. That ball was well hit. One hop the fence. So Boyd gets the RBI double. Here's Chase Evans. And that might be all for Delgadillo. We'll have to see just exactly how they want to handle this. One of the assistant coaches, the pitching coach for the Westerners, out to talk to Delgadillo. Well, I don't think that's Coach Jackson. And you got nobody tossing, so there's nobody coming into this game anytime real soon. And a little surprising because the pitch count, check on that here real quick, 67 now for Delgadillo. And you'd think that he might have a few more, but to not have anyone up yet, I don't know, a little surprising on that end of it. But we'll keep tabs on that. Runner at second base, one out. One run is in for the Apaches. It's now a 4-3 game. And Chase Evans steps in. 1-for-1 with an RBI for Evans. He hit a ball off the fence in his first at-bat. Now Delgadillo is going to step off and regroup. Now you're going to get some activity down in that Westerner bullpen. There's a bunt right back to the pitcher. Delgadillo is going to have to get rid of it quick, and he does to get the second out. So Evans moves the runner on the sacrifice bunt, 1-3. And Boyd will go to third. And back to the top of the Apache lineup we go. Matt McCusack, 1-for-2 tonight. Singled to left and scored a run in inning number 1, grounded out to third. So both times up, McCusack has hit the ball to the left side. One for 2 tonight. 4-3 is our score here in the fourth. One hopper to the shortstop. Napoles is up with it. High throw, and Sanchez snags it for the third out. So that'll do it for the Apaches in inning number 4, but they cut into the lead. An error, a double, and it's a one-run game here in Tyler, Texas. We're at Mike Carter Field. 4-3 Western over the Apaches. Back in just a minute on ApacheAthletics.com. And welcome back to Mike Carter on a cool evening here. Clear evening. The breeze actually has picked up now as these flags were hanging limp here a moment ago. Now got a little bit of a breeze more out of the east than the northeast at this point, blowing actually. It's a rare thing to have that easterly wind blowing in from left field, kind of towards the third base or the right field foul pole. That's kind of what it's doing right now. No balls and 1 strike. Top of the lineup for the Westerners, Philip Sanchez. Left fielder in there for a strike. It's quickly 0-2. James Kuykendall back on the hill for the Apaches through just 9 pitches in that first inning of work. 0-2 pitch. Sails outside, 1-2. Sanchez tonight struck out in the first inning, swinging and grounded out to third base. Back in the third inning, he's 0-2. Fouled straight back. And the count will stay at 1-2. Well, we've heard from a couple of other folks. Appreciate Miss Gillett giving Coach Wren a congrats on the new baby. And we did ask Coach Wren on the pregame interview about how Baker is doing, and he said he's doing just fine. I'm not sure Coach Wren and Amelia are getting any sleep these days, but Baker's doing just fine, so we're really thankful for that. And heard from Mr. Williams, giving some shout-outs to the Apaches. Go TJC. So thanks for the shout-outs. Would love to hear from as many of you as possible. There's a tapper to the third baseman, Whitehouse. He'll gun it across for out number 1. 5-3 if you're scoring at the house. 1 up and 1 down in the 5th. 4-3 is our score. The Western Texas College Westerners lead the Tyler Apaches. Westerners made the trip over last night. About 6-hour trip from West Texas over here to Tyler. About 5.5 driving. I think that's what Coach Jackson said. They obviously make a stop here and there. But they came in last night, so they had plenty of time to rest up. And, of course, with a 6:30 start today, curious to know what those guys did all day. No balls and 1 strike. I've had a busload of 18-year-olds on the road doing nothing. It's not fun. No balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here, top of the 5th. It's a clear, cool day here in Tyler. Sun was out all day, just was chilly. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 for Kuykendall, and number 7 on the day for Apache pitchers. So with 2 up and 2 down, here's Garrett Scott, the catcher, 0-2. He's having a rough one. Struck out swinging, grounded into a double play. First pitch missed for a ball, and it's 1-0. James Kuykendall, the sophomore from Spring, took over with 2 outs in the 4th for starter Daniel Bogue. Ball's fouled out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, and nobody aboard. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss, and it's now 2-1. Well, we started right on time at 6:30. We are pushing 8 o'clock at this point, so there's a chopper right back at Kuykendall. He'll back up, make the easy toss over, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. 1-3 if you're scoring at the house. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across for the Westerners here in inning number 5. We'll go to the bottom half of the 5th. Your score for Mike Carter, the Westerners 4 and the Apaches 3. Back in just a minute on ApacheAthletics.com. Welcome back to Mike Carter Field. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Apaches will bring 2, 3, and 4 to the plate. And that means it's time for Tyler Broadway to hit. Broadway doubled his first time up, struck out back in the second. He's 1 for 2 tonight. The Westerners 4 runs on 3 hits, 1 error. The Apaches 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors. And they have at least 2, maybe 3. I don't know. I guess you can go either way with that play at home plate on with Maddox. First pitch missed, and it's 1-0 on Tyler Broadway. Trying to see Tyler Broadway last weekend got 3 hits. That ball's well hit, left center field. But looks to be plenty of room out there for Lopez to make the grab, and there's 1 out. F8 if you're scoring at the house. Broadway coming into this ball game tonight, 3 for 7, so a 4.29 average. He's now 1 for 3 tonight. Colton Whitehouse steps in, struck out twice, once looking and once swinging. Time to get old Colton back on track tonight. 4-3 is our score, bottom of 5. We are halfway through this one right now, and just, what'd we say, just 90 minutes in, so both pitchers have had moments of working quick, and then also when they get those base runners on, they take their time. There's a ground ball to second, backhanded by Baltiera. Nicely done there. Josh Baltiera went to his right, backhanded that ball, and made a strong throw over to Sanchez for the 2nd out. Here's Jordan Trahan. Trahan struck out twice tonight. And we noted that the big fella set a record for the Apaches in RBIs. He also tied the record for homers in a season in the Division III era for TJC baseball. But first pitch swing, and he pops up right side and going to get out of play, so he'll get another crack at it. Trahan also, unfortunately, is among the leaders in strikeouts. Last year, he's now 3rd all-time with 50. So the Apaches had a couple of guys in the strikeout category move their way up the ladder, if you will, on the records. So I can say with authority, I still own the strikeout record at University of New Orleans. So not a fun record, but nonetheless, my name's in the record books. So maybe someday Jordan's home run record may be eclipsed, or his RBI record, but maybe that strikeout record will hold up. I don't know. And that's in there for a strike, and it's 1-2 on the big fella. Trying to get himself on track here in 2017. Got a couple of hits last weekend, 2 for 8. So he's a 250 hitter coming in. Look out! I don't know, that hit his elbow. And I think he's fine. Wow, that was scary. It came up by his chin, and he turned his body. And thankfully, it looked like he threw his elbow up in front of his face and knocked his elbow pad off. Because you heard it hit something, and you hoped it wasn't his arm or worse, maybe even his cheek or his face, because that ball was running hard up and in. And thankfully, Jordan was able to get that elbow pad up in time, and he'll take first on a hit by pitch. So, Miss Hughes, Miss Trahan, he is fine. He's down there first, running the bases. Don't want to alarm you there, but that's one of the things about playing this game. You got these guys throwing 85, 90 miles an hour. You got to get out of the way. Thankfully, that pad seemed to save the day right there. First pitch misses, and it's 1-0 to Blake Maddox. Maddox tonight 0 for 1 with a walk. And Maddox had the big weekend last weekend. He had a home run and a double, and 5 for 8 on the weekend. So he entered tonight 625 average with 5 RBIs. So quite a start for the Apache catcher. And he's up 2-0 now. Dylan Delgadillo on the mound. That pitch misses inside. And it's 3-0. So with 2 outs, Delgadillo hits Trahan, and now he's 3-0 on Maddox. You got Jarrell McDade, who hit a bullet to left his last time up, on deck. That pitch misses, ball 4. It's a 4-pitch walk. Just like that, the Apaches now with 2 runners on with 2 outs. And McDade, who hit a line drive right at left fielder Philip Sanchez in his last at-bat, has a chance here to do some damage with 2 outs. And you do have some activity in the Westerner bullpen. But it's going to be Delgadillo for now. That pitch is on the outside corner, strike 1. Delgadillo, 82 pitches now. You would think that he's closing in on finishing his evening here. 0-1 count. Here's the pitch. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. The Apaches 0-2 on the young season, trying to get win number 1. And the Westerners in their first game of this 2017 season, so trying to give old coach Kenny Jackson his first win ever as a head coach. 2 balls and a strike now to Jarrell McDade. McDade 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. Popped out of play. Good hack at that pitch. Well, if you can find a gap here, you might take the lead. Although I don't know, haven't really, not sure how fast old Blake Maddox can get around those bases. Some of those catchers can't get out of sight in a day, so we'll see how that works out. That ball's in the dirt. Nicely done by catcher Garrett Scott to keep the runners from advancing. He blocks that pitch. And the count goes full on Jarrell McDade. The runners will be off with the pitch, so that'll give Trahan a little head start at second, and it'll give Maddox a head start at first. 3-2, 2 outs, 2 runners aboard, 4-3 game. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him on the breaking pitch, and McDade is out. That's going to be strikeout number 7 on the night for Dylan Delgadillo, and he gets out of trouble, puts a donut on the board. We go to the 6th inning. This is going to be a 9 tonight. 4-3. We got a good one going. Stay with us. Back in just a minute. Welcome back to Mike Carter Field. We're in Tyler, Texas on a cool February evening here. Super Bowl weekend. Who's going to win that game? Kind of rooting for the Falcons. Those old Patriots, man, they've won enough. They got all the jewelry they need in New England. Let's see. I'd like to see some new blood in the Super Bowl winners circle. We'll see how that works out. First pitch swinging is Donovan Lopez. And ball's fouled out of play for strike one. Kuykendall back on the mound for the Apaches. That was pitch number 24. For Dylan Delgadillo, he's thrown 87 now through 5 innings. That ball is going to be in the dirt for a ball, and it's 1-1. Nobody on, nobody out. We're in the top half of inning number 6. 4-3 ball game here on a cool February night. 1-1 pitch. Dropped it right in there, and it's 1-2. Well, you'd love for old James to just fall in a rhythm right here. That pitch right on the outside corner. Here's the 1-2. Inside, 2-2. Well, Dr. Charles Johnson just showed me the ring that Coach Wren presented him with. Probably the best fan TJC baseball has ever had in its 25 years of existence. Swing and a miss. He got him to chase a high fastball. And there's one up and one down. Lopez goes down swinging. Strikeout number 3 for Kuykendall. The 8th strikeout for the Apache pitching staff tonight. And stepping in is Ramiro Sanchez, the first baseman. Sanchez struck out and reached on an infield single, scored a run back in the 4th. You haven't seen the Apaches. I don't know if they put that on the website yet, that ring. It's a beautiful ring. The three-peat ring from last 2016. Next pitch fouled off to the left side, and Whitehouse over by the fence and can't quite reach it as it goes into those big bleachers down the left field side. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. One out and nobody aboard. Western leads Tyler here, 4-3. That's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Only one left-hand. Well, actually, they got one lefty. Sanchez here in the middle of their lineup is left-handed. And then the 9 spot, Tyler Dick, is a switch hitter. On the outside corner, and it's back-to-back strikeouts. Sanchez goes down looking. 9th strikeout of the night for the Apaches. For the Apache pitchers, that is. And the 4th strikeout of the night for James Kuykendall. So, of the 5 outs Kuykendall has recorded, 4 of them have been punch-outs. First pitch in there for a strike. And it's quickly 0-1 on Jorge Napoles. That ball misses low and inside, and it's 1-1. Dr. Johnson, a longtime faculty for TJC. Still works part-time over there in the testing center. And there's a little looper over to second, and McCusick, tough play, can't make the play. That's going to be an infield single. I don't think that that was just hitting no man's land. McCusick, by the time he got to that ball, the runner was well down the line, so I'm going to score it a hit. It's kind of an ugly hit, but I think he would have beat it out even if he had made the throw. I don't know how the dugout may score that a little differently here. I don't know. We'll see how they feel about that. But 2 outs now and a runner aboard with the infield single to Napoles. Here's Dalton Castillo, the designated hitter. He got hit by a pitch and scored a run in the 2nd. Popped up to first base. His next time up, that ball's popped out of play, back behind us. And look out. Blankets and hoodies are scattering down there as some of the fans not wanting to get hit. So it's 0-1 on Castillo. Again, Castillo 0-for-1, and he reached on a hit by a pitch back in the 2nd inning, popped up in the 4th. 2 outs and a runner aboard. Yeah, nice to see the progress from James tonight from last week. That ball's well hit high and deep to right, but it looks like Broadway's got room. He does, and he makes the grab for the final out. F9 if you're scoring at the house. And off the bat, that looked like it might be trouble, but kind of died on Castillo, and Broadway takes it in for the third out. We'll go to the bottom half of inning number 6. The score remains the Westerners 4, the Apaches 3. Back in just a minute on ApacheAthletics.com. And welcome back to Mike Carter. We got a pitching change for the Westerners, and I think we got a family member watching, if I remember correctly. Nick Hollis in the ball game for the Westerners, 6'3" and 215. Right-handed freshman from Waltrip, Texas. So he'll take over for Dylan Delgadillo. Delgadillo finishes up with 7 strikeouts on the night in 5 innings of work. So we've had a lot of strikeouts really both ways. The Westerners have struck out 9 times, so 16 strikeouts between these two clubs through 5.5 innings. 4-3 is our score. Both teams with 4 hits on the ball game, and the umpire just pointed at second base. Do we have a new second baseman? Maybe right field. We got a new guy in right. See if we can figure that out. The Westerners may have made a defensive change as he pointed. He's just pointing to the pitcher. Maybe that's the only change. Right field is switch hitting Tyler Dick. I don't know if he's a left-handed thrower. Yeah, he's a left-handed thrower. So I think the only change perhaps is on the mound. As that umpire appeared to be pointing out towards the field, and he just verbally said something up our way, just reminding us that we have a new pitcher. So I don't know. Did we announce him on the PA? All right, that's probably why he said something. So may want to say something. Ground ball up the middle, and it's a base hit for Eric Bullock to lead off the 6th for the Apaches. So that's just what the doctor ordered for the Apaches. As Bullock reaches, now you might think about bunting Luke Boyd here.
Number 29, Luke Boyd.
And we'll see what Coach Wren wants. Well, the Apaches with a runner at first, nobody out, and Boyd at the plate. We'll see if they're going to play the short ball here and bunt him over. First pitch takes a rip at it. No bunt there. So much for the bunt. And it's 0-1 on Luke Boyd. Nick Hollis, 6'3" and 215, the big freshman from Waltrip, has taken over for Delgadillo here. He gave up a leadoff single to Eric Bullock. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase a high one. Fastball could not catch up, and Boyd now in an 0-2 hole. We're at the 8th spot in the Apache lineup. Chase Evans stands in the on-deck circle. Bullock with a pretty healthy lead over there at first base. Time is now called by Luke Boyd. Boyd is 1 for 1 with an RBI tonight and a run scored. So he's been productive in that 8th spot. He walked and scored back in the 2nd. Drove a ball over the left fielder's head for an RBI in the 4th. That ball's in the dirt. Nicely done by Garrett Scott to block it. And the count goes to 1-2. 1-2 with nobody out. 4-3 game. Bottom of the 6th. This is a 9-inning ball game tonight. Be a single 9, and tomorrow's doubleheader, as far as I know, is going to be a 7 and a 9. Do you guys know any different up here? 7-9 tomorrow. So that first game will be a 7, and the second one will be a 9. But this one tonight, going to play the full 9. Next pitch misses inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hollis is looking in for his sign. There goes the runner. Throw down to second, not going to get him. So there's your bunt right there as Bullock steals second, the big guy. Looks like a praying mantis out there. He's just big and lanky. He got down to second pretty quick. Not sure the dugout expected him to be stealing, but they were all excited he got there. 3-2 now, nobody out. Now you got to move him to third if you can, if you're Luke Boyd. In a perfect world, you base knock it and maybe a grounder to right side to at least move him over. Here's the pitch. Pop up, and that's going to creep out of play as look out, people running for cover. Nobody wants to get hit on a cool night, that's for sure. Got some guys looking like they're going to go on a hunt after the ball game. They're in their fatigues. Lots of blankets and heavy jackets at the ballpark tonight. Game started at 51 degrees. Last time we checked it, it was 49. And it's now 48 here in Tyler. So continues to drop as it will. There's a pitch, and I think it got him. It went off the elbow or arm of Boyd, and it's a hit by pitch. So the Apaches now 2 base runners, nobody out. I got to believe now you're going to bunt them across. And we'll see a little cat and mouse here, see what Coach Jackson dials up on the defensive side of it. I would think you got to put the tying and go-ahead runs in scoring position here with 1 out and bunt him over, but we'll see what Coach Wren dials up. Hollis comes set, and the bunt is shown, and he pulls back for ball 1. So we had the first baseman, Sanchez, charging. Diaz stayed back at third. He's even with the bag. And what you teach guys here is you try to bunt this ball to third base and force the issue and at least get the sacrifice. Because that first baseman's going to be crashing hard, so you don't really want to get it his way. Here's the pitch. 1-0, he's going to swing away and pop it up. It's going to go out of play. And these poor people on the Apache side of the bleachers are having to scramble again to get out of the way. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Coach Wren, there's that cat and mouse we talked about. He shows bunt on the first pitch and then pulls back and swings away on the second one. So it's 1-1. And we'll see what the next move is for Coach Wren. And Sanchez is going to creep in at first. Now he's going to show bunt again. Ball misses high, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike. So back and forth we go. Coach Wren's going to put a new set of signs on, and we'll see what's on here. 2 balls and a strike. Nobody out. 2 runners aboard in a 1-run game in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the pitch. There's the bunt. And Hollis fields on the mound, fires over, and the sacrifice is effective as Evans moves the runners on the 6-4. So now you got Bullock at third, Boyd at second, 1 out. Back to the top of the lineup, Matt McCusick with a chance now to give the Apaches the lead with a single perhaps, or at least maybe tie with a sac fly. Now you're going to get some more action down in the Westerner bullpen as a couple of their players run down there to get ready. 1 out and 2 runners on. Tying run at third, go-ahead run at second, only 1 out. Bottom of inning number 6. Nick Hollis, who has come on in relief pitching for the Westerns. There's a looping fly ball to left, shallow, and making the running grab is the left fielder, Philip Sanchez. Not deep enough to score the run, and there's now 2 outs. That's a big out right there by Hollis, and a nice running grab by Sanchez. So here's Tyler Broadway.
Taylor Broadway.
So Broadway is going to come up in a key spot in the 6th here with 2 runners in scoring position, 2 outs. So Taylor Broadway steps in. And I'm trying to see Broadway, couple of 3 hits last weekend. Now you're going to get a visit from the Westerner pitching coach. Their guys that are throwing have not been throwing that much, although the left-hander has been up for a minute, so a little surprised if they make a move here, but you never know. We're at the 2 spot in the Tyler lineup. Nick Hollis has come on, and Hollis has just thrown 13 pitches, and it appears as though they're going to stay with him as the pitching coach takes a peek down at the bullpen to maybe see if the left-hander's ready, and I got to believe he will be soon. So now having made that trip to the mound, Hollis has to throw to this batter. So with 2 outs and 2 runners aboard, Broadway will have a chance here to either tie or give the Apaches the lead. Nick Hollis, the freshman from Waltrip, trying to get the Westerners out of trouble here. Here's the pitch. Line shot, left through. 1 run's going to score. Both of them are going to score easy. It's going to go all the way to the fence. It's a 2-run double, and the Apaches lead it 5-4. A 2-run double by Taylor Broadway. That ball was well hit, and there was no chance. You thought Diaz might have a chance to snag it on a fly as the ball whizzed by his glove, but he reached up, could not make the play. Into the corner it went, and 2 runs are in. So that's a huge 2-out hit for Taylor Broadway, and the Apaches take the first lead that they've had since back in the 2nd inning. And that's going to be all for Nick Hollis. So the Westerners will make a pitching move here. We'll let you know who the new pitcher is. Your new score is 5-4, back in just a minute at Mike Carter Field. Okay, we believe that the new pitcher is Mark Trimble, the sophomore from San Antonio. The number does not match up with the lineup we have, or the roster, rather. So we're assuming this is Mark Trimble. And I think that lines up. 6'3", 200 sophomore from San Antonio Cornerstone Christian. And he'll come in now with runner at second, 2 outs. And he'll face Colton Whitehouse. So Trimble on in relief of Hollis here. Hollis came in and threw 14 pitches. He faced 5 Apache batters. Got 2 outs, but could not quite finish the inning. That pitch is going to miss, and it's quickly 2-0. Mark Trimble now in the game. So Trimble on the roster is listed as a sophomore. 6'3" and 200. San Antonio Cornerstone Christian. We are in the 6th inning, 2 outs. That ball misses low, 3-0. So Trimble trying to find his way here. Part of the issue we had is that he's wearing number 12, and that's not number 12 on the roster is Eric Estrada, who's 5'7", right-handed thrower, and that's not who this is. So he may have left his jersey at the house. 3-0 with 2 outs. Wouldn't be the first time, right? And that's a 4-pitch walk to Colton Whitehouse. Really no damage either way there. Now you got a force play all around the infield for the Westerners. Jordan Trahan now at the plate. Trahan 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts. He got hit on the arm protector last time up. So the big fellow with a chance with 2 outs now to extend an Apache 5-4 lead. They scored 2 here to take the lead in the 6th. Change up, outside corner, nicely done there by Trimble. And it's 0-1 on Jordan Trahan. Two down here, bottom of 6. Here's the pitch. That ball's right down the middle, and it's 0-2. Trahan kind of getting out of the way as if it was going to come in on him, and it didn't. Stayed right over the middle of the plate. 0-2 with 2 outs. You got Broadway at second, Whitehouse at first. Broadway with an RBI double. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. And that'll end the inning. But the Apaches come back with 2 runs in their half of the 6th. And it's now 5-4 Tyler over Western. We go to the 7th. Back in just a minute on ApacheAthletics.com. All right, 8:37 local time here in East Texas. Appreciate you joining the broadcast tonight. Dr. John Groth on the play-by-play. Dr. Charles Johnson to my left tonight, keeping me in line, showing off the hardware. Got his beautiful national championship ring presented by Coach Wren. Well-deserved by Dr. Johnson, our most loyal fan over the years. 25th year of Apache baseball since we restarted it back in 1992. That pitch misses. And it's 1 strike. It's 8-9-1. Josh Baltiera will lead it off. Baltiera 1 for 2, reached on an error, had an infield single his last time up. Next pitch just misses, and it's 2-1. James Kuykendall still in the game for the Apaches on the bump. 40 pitches now for Kuykendall. 2-1 pitch. Popped up, shouldn't be a problem. Broadway camped under it, and he'll squeeze it for out number 1. Like to see 2 hands on that ball. 2 hands here in the big leagues. There's 1 out. We're at the 9 spot. Tyler Dick, he struck out twice. He's a switch hitter, so he'll roll over to the left side against the right-handed throwing James Kuykendall. First pitch in there for strike 1. This game started with the Apaches scoring in the bottom of the first. The Westerners took a 2-1 lead in the second. Apaches tied it in their half of the second. We were tied at 2 through the third inning. Into the fourth inning, the Westerners put 2 up, so they're up 4-2. Apaches scored a run. It was 4-3. And 2 runs in the bottom of the sixth have given the Apaches a 5-4 lead. 0-2 pitch. Look out. Up under the chin of the Westerner right fielder, Tyler Dick, looking for his first hit of the season. The Westerners playing in their first ball games of the season. Ball missed low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well hit ball high and deep to center field, but plenty of room out there for Evans. And he'll put the glove on it for the second out. So a couple of fly balls, 1 to right, 1 to center. We're back to the top of the Westerner lineup. Here's Philip Sanchez. Sanchez, a couple of ground balls and a strikeout. He's 0 for 3. 5-4 Apaches. 7th inning. We're playing 9 tonight and a 7-9 tomorrow. We'll be on the air 12:45 for a 1 o'clock first pitch. Going to be a little overcast tomorrow, maybe a little rain as well. We got a slight chance of rain tomorrow, so if you're planning on making the trip to Tyler, bring your jacket and maybe even your parka, some kind of covering. It may get not a heavy forecast for rain, but a slight chance, 15 to 20%. But I don't think we're going to see too much sun tomorrow, so it's going to be chilly. 0-2 pitch. High. It's 1-2. Kuykendall has settled in nicely here for the Apaches. Got the first 2 batters out. He's retired 3 in a row. There you go. Strike 3 called, and the ball was dropped. Maddox tagged the runner. Sanchez is out looking. And that's it for the Westerners in the 7th. 3 up, 3 down. It's a donut on the board, and we go to the 7th inning stretch. You got to get up out of that easy boy chair, get off the couch, get out of bed, stretch it out. 7th inning stretch time here at the ballpark. 5-4 Apaches. And welcome back to Tyler, Texas. On a cool February night, the Apaches hold on to a 1-run lead here. Bottom of, I didn't stretch it out, man. I gotta stand up. Missed the 7th inning stretch. Call this inning standing up. First pitch, check swing. Did he go? They're gonna check. No, he didn't. Palms down, and it's 1-0 on Blake Maddox. Maddox tonight is 1 for. No, he's 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. 1-0 pitch. That's high. 2-0. So these Westerner pitchers have struggled to throw Maddox strikes all night. A couple of walks for the Apache catcher. Ground ball to short. 2-0 pitch. It's in there for a strike. 2-1. Trimble likes to go from the stretch even with nobody on. You see that a lot. Just kind of stay balanced and not try to complicate things at all. A lot of guys coming out of the bullpen have gone to that kind of approach. Next pitch popped up right side. Should be in play for Tyler Dick. He's drifting back and he can't make the play. It's going to bounce around out the warning track, and Maddox is going to chug around to third with a triple. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to call that a triple or an error. I don't know. He should have had it. So got to be an E9 there, but when you see your catcher chugging for third, you get excited. So kind of triple came out of my mouth, but I'm going to score that an E9. And the Apaches now with the another runner at third, nobody out. Well, that doesn't matter. Never got a glove on it. The coach in me says he should have had it. That's an error. First pitch misses, and it's 1-0. If I know how, you can always go back and change the scoring, by the way. So I don't know how Wren's going to want to score that, but no, I would have the propensity to call it an error, but he may call it a triple. I don't know. There are not many triples in this ballpark because of the fences being short on the corners. 325 down the lines, 380 or 370 straight away. Swing and a miss, and McDade now even at 1-1. Nobody out. The Western infield is in, trying to cut that run down. The Apaches lead at 5-4. Here's the next pitch. That ball misses, and it's 3-1 now. As Jarrell McDade on the night walked with the bases loaded to get an RBI in the first, hit a line drive at the left fielder, his second at bat, and struck out swinging to end the fifth. So there's a walk to McDade, and the Apaches now with 2 runners on. They already have a 1-run lead, and here's Eric Bullock. And it looks like we might see another Westerner pitcher as the pitching coach is now making his way to the mound. Might be all for Mark Trimble. As we'll see what they want to do. He's going to go out and talk a little bit. And Coach Wren's going to have a powwow over at the third base side of things with all the base runners and the base coaches and the hitters and the on-deck hitter. Everybody's over there. And now you've made the call to the bullpen. So we're going to have a pitching change. We'll let you know who the new pitcher is momentarily. The Apaches hold a 1-run lead, first and third. Nobody out here. Bottom of the 7th, back in just a minute. Welcome back to Mike Carter. The new pitcher for the Westerners is 6'3" right-hander Craig Swanson. The sophomore from Montgomery, Texas, will take over in the 7th here. Nobody out. So Mark Trimble comes in and faces, I guess, 4 batters. Is that right? Faces 4 batters. And he'll give way to Craig Swanson. Runners at first and third. Nobody out for Tyler. Eric Bullock at the plate. This is I used to love to hit and run right here. And you got your guy at third going on down angles if you do it. There's a wild pitch, and McDade will hustle down to second. So much for that. It's going to be a wild pitch on Craig Swanson. And the Apaches now you got some things you can do if you want to, or you let Bullock swing away and try to drive him in. You can certainly got the squeeze opportunity. I never liked squeezing with nobody out. Eric Bullock at the plate. He has scored twice. Bullock now 1 for 3 tonight. A single and 2 runs scored. That pitch misses low. And it's 2-0. Swanson, the sophomore from Montgomery, coming into a tough situation here. Working kind of fast. At the side, kind of a 3/4 delivery for the right-hander. And it's 3-0. You got a base open here, so not going to kill you if you walk Bullock. And he did. 4-pitch walk. So an error by the right fielder and 2 walks. The Apaches have loaded the bases here in inning number 7. They have a 1-run lead. They would love to extend that lead right here. Here's Luke Boyd. Boyd's 1 for 1. He's walked and got hit by a pitch, scored twice. He's got an RBI to his credit. So we'll see what he can do here with an opportunity in the 7th. First pitch misses wide, and it's 1-0. So Swanson has a little trouble finding the zone here early in his outing. Now you're going to have some more action in the bullpen. Some guys running down there to try to get it going. 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike, and it's 1-1. A little bit of an awkward delivery and release point for the sophomore right-hander from Montgomery, Craig Swanson. But here's the 1-1 pitch, and that ball sails way outside, and it's 2-1. So a 4-pitch walk, and now a 2-1 count on shortstop Luke Boyd. Apaches trying to add to a 1-run advantage. Line drive by the third baseman into left field. 1 run will come in. Everyone moves 90, and it's 6-4 on the RBI single by Luke Boyd. Well, that was a rocket, and Diaz, the third baseman, stuck his glove out, could not put the leather on it, and Maddox comes home to score. The Apaches now have a 2-run advantage, 6-4, still nobody out. So, well, you're just looking for outs here if you're a Westerner fan, trying to get out of trouble here. The Apaches trying to build on a 6-4 lead. Chase Evans steps in. Evans, 2 sacrifices and a double and an RBI, so he's 1 for 1. First pitch is in there for strike 1. Westerner infield playing for double play here. Corner guys are in. Wow, what a block by Garrett Scott. That guy's quick. That ball was way outside, and man, how he got that ball, how he got his body in front of that, I don't know, but outstanding block by the catcher, Garrett Scott, saves a run. 1 ball, 1 strike. A lot of movement on that pitch. But it sails wide, and it's 2-1. Chase Evans trying to add to his RBI total tonight. That ball misses inside. 3-1. Well, what you like out of Swanson here is the pace. He's working quick, so that keeps your defense in the game. But he's facing a 3-1 count. Well hit high and deep to left. Sanchez goes back, makes the catch right in front of the warning track. That's going to be an RBI sac fly, and it's now 7-4. Apaches lead it. Chase Evans with the deep fly ball gives the Apaches a 3-run advantage. And how many times do you have 3 sacrifices in one ball game? Chase Evans with an RBI sac fly. And that'll roll it back to the top. Matt McCusick will come up to the plate. McDade came home to score the Apaches' 7th run. Bullock stays at second. Boyd stays at first. Left-handed batting Matt McCusick. First pitch in there for strike 1. One out with 2 runners aboard for Tyler here in the 7th. They've already got 2 runs across. Chopper foul off McCusick's foot. This is not the night you want to foul one down off your toe. Interesting that I think it's one of those nights where when you're sitting around like we are up here, it's cold, but we've got a number of players with no sleeves on, and I don't know if they're trying to play tough guy or what, but a number of guys out there do not have the sleeves on, and they seem to be very comfortable. So here's the 0-2. McCusick somehow fouls it off, and that went off the glove hand of the catcher, Garrett Scott. He's kind of shaking his hand. Umpire's going to do his duty by walking out and taking his time, trying to give Mr. Scott a little bit of a chance to shake that thing out a little bit. West Texas Westerners, 4 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors. The Apaches, 7 runs, now 7 hits, and 3 errors. So not a real clean game defensively for the Apaches, but they've been able to muster up some runs here late. Little chopper again, and McCusick is going to foul another ball off his foot. And the count remains 0-2 with 1 out. Taylor Broadway on deck for the Apaches. Grounder up the middle. Pitcher's going to fire it to short for 1. They'll get that runner, and there's now 2 outs on the 1-6. So McCusick will reach on the fielder's choice, and Boyd will be out at second. Bullock got to third on that play, so you got first and third now, 2 outs. And here's Taylor Broadway. He drove one. He's got 2 doubles on the night, but 2 RBI double was the big hit that gave the Apaches the lead in the 6th inning. Put a star by that one. That was a big hit in this ballgame. 2 outs, runners on the corners. Apaches now lead 7-4. They've scored 2 runs in the 6th and 2 more here in the 7th. Single tallies in the 1st, 2nd, and 4th. Swung on, foul tip. Scott held on. So the count's 1-1. 2 outs for the Apaches here in inning number 7. Craig Swanson delivers. Just missed outside. And it's 2-1. Swanson, boy, I would have a rule on a night like tonight, Charles. If you're pitching, you got sleeves on, fella. There was no way I'd let a guy. And Swanson's out there with nothing on his arms. Keep those arms warm. And I just can't imagine. He doesn't even look like he's got an undershirt on. He looks like he's going uni only here. So just I wouldn't give my players a choice on a night like tonight. They would all be wearing sleeves whether they wanted to or not. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Way outside. That ball, I'll tell you what, Swanson's got a lot of movement on his pitches. Sometimes when you got that much movement, it's tough to command it, and that's kind of what's happened. He's walked a guy, and that, I don't know if it's a cutter or a slider, but it's got a massive amount of movement. So Broadway now, 3-2 count, 2 outs. The runner at first, McCusick, will be off with this pitch. There he goes. Well hit left center. Could be trouble, but not so much as Sanchez makes the grab. So it's an F7 to end the inning. But the Apaches get 2 more runs, and they extend their 1-run lead to a 3-run lead. It's 7-4 as we go to the 8th. Back in just a minute on ApacheAthletics.com. And welcome back to Mike Carter Field. James Kuykendall will continue to toe the rubber for the Apaches. They will take a 7-4 lead into the 8th inning. And for the Westerners, it's going to be Luis Diaz. Now, Diaz must be a switch hitter as well. I don't think I remember him batting from this side. There's a bunt attempt right out in front of the plate. Maddox bare hands it. Nicely done there. Blake Maddox grabbed that ball on 2 hops right out in front of home plate. On the run through to first for the first out. It's going to go 2-3. Nice play there by Blake Maddox. Yeah, that was a turf play for sure. Bounced right up and Blake snagged it. Here's Garrett Scott, the catcher. 0 for 3 tonight. Strikeout and a couple of ground balls. First pitch in there for strike 1. James Kuykendall, right-handed sophomore out of Spring, came on in the 4th inning with 2 outs. Been in there ever since. We're in the 8th inning. 7-4, Apaches lead it. 1-1 pitch. Outside, and it's 2-1. Men's tennis for the Tyler Junior College Apaches defeat Trinity today, 8-1. So Navarro, the men's basketball beat Navarro on Wednesday. Women's basketball defeated Coastal, so Apaches winning all over the place this week. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Swing and a miss, and that's strikeout number, let's see here, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Kuykendall. And for the Apache pitchers, it's going to be strikeout number 11 on the night. So you got to be pleased with the strikeout total. 11 so far through 8 2/3. And here's Donovan Lopez. Lopez on the night. 1 for 2. He got hit by a pitch back in the 2nd. Doubled in the 4th. Struck out in the 6th. That pitch is in there, and we're even at 1-1. Wind up in the pitch. He reached for it, pops it up to short right field. Broadway ranging over, makes the grab for the final out. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across for the Westerners in the 8th. And you're now 3 outs away from your first win of the 2017 season. 7-4 Apaches. We go to the bottom half of inning number 8. Back in a minute. All right, we got a new arm on the mound for the Westerners. It's the freshman from San Antonio Johnson High School, 6'2" and 170, Bryce Faust. So Faust will get his first opportunity of the young season for the Westerners, and he will be the fifth pitcher of the night for Coach Jackson. Delgadillo started tonight, and then it was Hollis in the 6th, Trimble in the 6th, Swanson in the 7th, and now Faust in the 8th. And if he can hold on to a 3-run advantage, this would be the last inning of work for the Westerner pitchers. Of course, if they tie it or take the lead in the 9th, then you would have to use another pitcher in the 9th, but we'll see how that works out. 1-0 now to Colton Whitehouse. Whitehouse 0 for 3 tonight with a walk. That's in there for a strike, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. 4-4-2 for the Westerners. 7-7-2 for the Apaches. The bottom of the 8th inning. Cool February night here in Tyler. Swing and a miss. And evidently that wasn't strike 3. Or was it? I guess not. He's going to stay there. I don't think they're going to give him 4 strikes, so now it's 1-2. There it is, strike 3, and Colton Whitehouse is down on strike swinging. That's going to be strikeout, number 9 on the evening. Again, both pitching staffs have racked up some strikeouts tonight, so the 9th strikeout of the night for the Westerner pitchers. That's the first of the night for Bryce Faust. And let's see, we got a new hitter for the Apaches. 25 is going to be Cameron Carver. I think we had some of his family give us a little shout out. The first pitch swing and chopped to short. Napolis is going to throw across, and he got him. They're going to ask for help at home plate to see if he came off the bag, and I don't think that first base umpire is not in any mood to keep this game any longer. Than he's not even going to check it. So it's a 6-3. And so who did we say? That was Carver as the pinch hitter. So 25 Carver pinch hitting for Trahan. And there's 2 up and 2 down here. Now Coach Wren, he's wanting to extend this thing. He's wondering why we won't ask for help here. And this is not so much about the call as it is, I don't know if these guys are coming back tomorrow, but you do. There's no reason not to check that. You politely ask for them to ask. I don't know that home plate umpire is going to make any difference here. They're going to come down and consult with one another, but you just like for umpires to at least check that. And I'm trying to think. Garrett McCullen, I think, is the first base coach, and they're going to call him. They're going to call him safe. Home plate umpire evidently saw that he was off the bag, and they're going to put the runner back on the base. So that's going to be an error on the first. Well, I don't know. Did he? Was the throw short? Did he have to pick that ball? Huh? It's an error, but was the throw short of first? Did he have to pick it? So I would argue it's an error on the shortstop because the throw was not there on the fly. So, actually, I don't know. If you're going to call, now we're going to have a pinch runner. So, number 1 is Braden Wise. So you got Wise now pinch running for Carver. He'll take over in the 4 spot. So actually, you could make the argument that he was actually out, but the first baseman came off the bag, so you could argue it was an E3 there. Either way, it's going to be an error on the Western Texas College Westerners. First pitch swinging, he pops it up. Maddox, first pitch swinging, and that's going to be foul territory, a pop-up, FO3 for Maddox, and there's 2 outs. Here's Jarrell McDade now. So McDade steps in with 2 outs and a runner at first. The runner at first is Braden Wise. You might turn Wise loose here. and let him steal with 2 outs. Try to get that lead out there a little further. And these aluminum bats, no lead is safe in college baseball, I'll tell you that. I've seen just about everything I wanted to see on this field in terms of a safe lead late in the ball game. So a 3-run advantage here in the 8th, but you might turn that runner loose and try to get him in scoring position with 2 outs. And I think for that very reason, Faust is going to throw a couple of pickoff attempts over there. And all the fans that want to wrap this thing up are kind of hoping he comes to home plate soon. And a 3rd pickoff attempt, and might have to put another pot of coffee on here. Get some more hot chocolate. This game isn't going to end anytime real soon. Keep throwing pickoff attempts. There's a quick throw to first or to the plate. Pretty close to a balk there. You got to come to a discernible pause. No call, as either umpire wants to do anything but extend this game either. No balls and a strike with 2 outs. 7-4, Apaches lead it. Here's the pitch from Faust. A big rip by McDade. Swings through it. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Apaches with a 3-run advantage. Be curious to see if we have anyone different for the 9th on the mound. Kuykendall with just, well, I don't know how many pitches he's got. Goes the runner, throw to second. Was that a delay? All right, so the delay steal was on, and they caught the Westerners napping. And I got to believe head coach Kenny Jackson, a former shortstop, not happy about that one. Everyone in that infield fell asleep, and nicely done by Wise to execute the delay steal to perfection. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Now you got a runner in scoring position with a chance to extend a 3-run advantage. Inside, just misses. And the Westerner dugout wanted that pitch. It was well inside. And it's 2-2. Jarrell McDade is 0 for 2 tonight. He did hit 1 ball hard to left field, struck out, walked twice. Ground ball, third base side. Diaz up with it, throws across, 1 hop, and nicely done by Sanchez to make the catch for the final out. 5-3 if you're scoring at the house. We'll go to the 9th. The Apaches with a 3-run lead, 7-4. Tyler leads it. Back in just a minute. And we have heard from Greg Parker, Richmond, Texas. Appreciate the shout out there on the Remind Text system. Got the Remind Text system there at the bottom of that screen. If you minimize your picture on tonight's game, you can text me 81010 at TJCBB. That's a system that you'll be in that system. Or you can just shoot a note to me through the YouTube message system there. Either way, but we go to the top half of inning number 9. It's 5, 6, and 7 for the Westerners. You got to have 3 to tie and 4 to take the lead here. Kuykendall back on the hill. He had a 9-pitch inning last inning. His total was 59. He's thrown 2 more here, so it's 61. Next pitch. Popped up left side. I think it's going to drift out of play. Whitehouse reaching to the fence and just out of his reach. 2 balls and a strike now on left-handed batting first baseman Ramiro Sanchez. On the evening, Sanchez 1 for 3, a couple of strikeouts and an infield single. He has scored a run. 2-1 pitch. That's fouled out of play. Well over the Camry. That's headed toward the Rose Garden. That wind is picking back up from the east, kind of blowing right toward the right field foul pole. And the temperature continues to drop. See if we can get a read on what it is. I think last time we checked it was 48. It's down to 45 now. And it feels every bit of 45. It says it feels like 42. We have an east-northeasterly. That ball's fouled straight back, and the count will remain full. East-northeasterly at 6 miles an hour. Carver team made it to San Antonio. Go Apaches. All right. Nice. Appreciate that shout out. That ball's well hit. Nice piece of hitting on the 3-2 pitch. And it's a leadoff single, so if you're a Westerner fan, that's exactly what you needed. A well-hit ball by Sanchez to lead things off. Here's Jorge Napoles.
Now batting, number 11, Jorge Napoles.
So you do have a right-hander down in the Apache bullpen. Do we know who that is? Get those Hawkeyes on that. Who is it? J.P. Gorby getting loose for the Apaches. Ground ball, third base side, going to be trickle foul. Whitehouse picks it up, and it's 0-1 on Napoles. So Gorby ready to go for the Apaches in their bullpen, and you got to believe that if there's any kind of extended trouble here for Kuykendall, they would go to Gorby. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball up the middle. This could be 2, 4, and 6, and 3. Nicely done there by the middle infield. Well, nice job by McCusack. He flipped it over the Boyd in an easy double play ball. 4-6-3. The second double play of the night for the Apaches. And now you're down to your last out if you're a Westerner fan. Here's Dalton Castillo. Or we have a pinch hitter. Gotcha. Thank you. Number 15 is the pinch hitter.
Number 15, Anthony Handel.
Anthony Handel is the freshman from Corpus Christi King. He'll get the last chance here if Kuykendall can finish it. So he'll pinch hit for Castillo. Number 15 is Handel. Quickly 0-2, and now you're down to your last strike. Kuykendall, what a job he's done in relief. Sophomore from spring, 1 pitch away. Misses high. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs and nobody on. 7-4 Apaches, bottom or top of the 9th. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball, this could do it. McCusack's going to take it on the big hop. Throw to first, there's your ball game. 4-3 to end it. A ground ball to Matt McCusack, and that'll do it. The Apaches win their first game of the season, 7-4. And let's look at the numbers here to wrap this one up and send you on your way. Looking at the line score, TJC took an early lead, 1-0 in the first. Western came back with 2 runs in the second inning, and they scored those 2 runs on a 2-out error by Matt McCusack at second base. So it was 2-1 Westerners going to the bottom of the second. The Apaches scored a single run on a double by Chase Evans. So it's 2-2 going to the third. Nobody scored in the third. 2 runs in the top half of the fourth. And an RBI sac fly by Napoles scored one of those runs. And the throw came to home plate, and the catcher, Blake Maddox, could not hold on to the ball. So 2 runs in the 4th for Western gave them a 4-2 advantage. The Apaches countered with 1 run of their own in the 4th on an RBI double by Luke Boyd. That made it 4-3. And the big hit of this ball game was Taylor Broadway's double in the 6th inning. 2 runs in the bottom half of the 6th off the bat of Broadway gave the Apaches the 5-4 lead, and they did not relinquish that. 2 more in the 7th. And from an RBI single by Boyd, who had 2 RBIs on the night, and an RBI sac fly by Chase Evans. And that would be your final total. Line score for the ball game for the Westerners from Western Texas College: 4 runs on 5 hits, 3 errors. For the Apaches from TJC, 7 runs, 7 hit, 2 errors of their own. This ball game started at 6:30, and we are finishing up right here at 9:21. So that's not quite 3 hours, 2 hours and I guess 49 minutes on the ball game. So that'll wrap it up. 7-4. The Apaches win their first ball game of the season. Their record goes to 1-2, and Coach Kenny Jackson will have to wait at least another day to get his first win as a head coach. They dropped the Western Texas College Westerners will drop their season record to 0-1. We'll have a doubleheader on the air tomorrow at 12:45. It's a 1 o'clock start doubleheader, 7-9. And so, again, if you're coming out here to the ballpark, you might want to bring some extra clothing, because it's going to be overcast, cool, a slight chance of rain here in East Texas tomorrow, with the highs in the mid to upper 40s. So, Dr. Charles Johnson, thanks for joining me in the press box. Always good to see your smiling face with your national championship ring in your pocket. Awesome to see that tonight in the press box. The Westerners are out there in left field meeting, kind of going over things. Coach Jackson and Coach Wren will be doing the same out in right field, as these 2 clubs will square off again tomorrow. 1 o'clock first pitch. Will be on the air at 12:45. Hope you join us early for the dugout interviews with both coaches. I'll have a chance to talk to both these coaches about tonight's ball game and a little bit more about tomorrow's doubleheader. So for the whole athletic department at Tyler Junior College, Dr. Tim Drain, Kelsey Weeks, Chuck Smith, Dr. John Gross signing off from Tyler. So long, everybody.